Hey, look, it's a sergeant with arms. Men, to arms! I'm not quitting my day job. Today we're going to do a quick review on magnets. They're wonderful, they're magical. There's a few questions and they're a bit of a mystery. The first real question is, why magnetize in the first place? Right now we don't have a actual codex, so we don't know what the right weapon loadouts are, we don't know what the right accessories are, we don't even know how to color coordinate anymore. So until then, kind of makes sense to magnetize I'm not going to swear, magnetize everything. It also gives us a lot of flexibility to turn basic troopies into interceptors, to have the guys dual wielding falchions or swapping out weapons. Later on, if people are interested, I'll show how to do the conversions on DreadKnights for the 4 weapon configurations. And if you have metal dreadnoughts, I recommend pinning the arms into place instead of trying to magnetize the weapons, just because those old metal figs are pretty heavy. So here's the beginning of the magnetizing. Here's what you'll need. Magnets. I picked up these bad boys on the Amazon.coms. Pack of 250 2mm by 1.5mm. I'll get a different view here. Magnets. 250 of them was about $18. Shipping, taxes, handling, bribing the border guards, customs, etc. So 250 magnets. You're going to break a few. Don't ask why. Actually, the neodymium magnet construction is kind of interesting stuff, but I'm not going to touch that. You're going to break a few. They're going to splinter. They're going to shatter on you. Not a big deal. They're dirt cheap. Next of the most important tools, pin vise. One of these bad boys. You can get these at your friendly local gaming store for something in the neighborhood of $10 to $30. You can go to a local hardware store and get the exact same thing for $3 to $10. I highly recommend you go to your local gaming store. Without those guys, hobby wouldn't exist. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. If you can support your local guys, please do so. These drill bits are surprisingly annoying to get. Again, if you go to your friendly local gaming store, you're going to pay probably through the nose for these. Even buying individual drill bits from a Home Depot or Lowe's, Builderama, I don't know the name of these stores. If you buy individual bits, you're probably going to be paying too much. You're probably better off getting a small bit set, ranging from, where's my handy dandy conversion gizmo? Conversion gizmo. And this is an imperial unit, so 3/64 up to 3/16 is about as big as you're going to need. That's holes in this range. These 2mm holes, 5/64. If you know a handyman, handy person, handy woman, if you know a do-it-yourselfer, if you happen to be a do-it-yourselfer, you probably have a bunch of these bits lying around in various cheap kits that you bought. Don't worry about getting drill bits that are special for different materials. Like, well, you're not going to get a concrete drill bit this size, but something for wood or for steel. It's kind of irrelevant for the softness of the plastic. Just get a drill bit of the right size. So that's pin vise, that's drill bits. You can get magnets from your local gaming store. Some carry them. Again, support those guys. They their living, their livelihood, their family's existence has a lot to do with you supporting them. Your hobby has a lot to do with them existing. Because last time I checked, Amazon doesn't provide gaming space. Just saying. The rest is the normal hobby stuff that you'll need. You'll need massively overpriced pieces of plastic. Let's get the top view here. We have some sort of arms. We have glaive, halberd, some sort of a teleporting backpack. Ooh, teleporting backpack. We have sanding, filing stick for smoothing things out, which most people don't use. A couple of hobby knives. Again, we should be using them. Support your local gaming store. I can't stress it enough. If that fails, go to your tool town, Renos R Us, Home Depot, Sam's, whatever. Green stuff. You can use the Citadel green stuff. You can use Plumber's 2-part putty, which is about a sixth the price of the 2-part green stuff that you'll see at the local gaming stores. That's one of the places where I would draw the line for the price difference, except when you buy 6 inches of green stuff, the 2-part putty, you'll recognize it. It's the ribbon that's half yellow, half blue. Unless you're doing a lot of sculpting, that little 6-inch strip is going to last you a heck of a long time. Glue. I'm a big fan of this stuff. Big fan of this. The Tamiya Extra Thin. I'm just going to give this a little shake in case you haven't seen just how this stuff, I swear, seems thinner than water. It's absolutely amazing. It's got this super high-tech applicator. It's like what's that word? It's like a brush, and it doesn't clog the nozzle. And the fumes, magnifico. I think that's it for the tools. I think that's it for the materials. I'm going to hit pause here so I can clip this video a bit, but I will get back in just a second. Welcome back to part the next. Here we have the plastic. We have one slashy nemesis weapon. One magic teleporting backpack. One magic non-teleporting backpack. I've already trimmed and cleaned and filed. I'm gonna try hard today. I even green stuffed this torso. Not even sure why. Anyways, it's glued together. And I found this shoulder pad and arm base coated for some reason, and some plastic for the other arm. I'm going to glue the shoulder pads to the arms. And when I come back, we're finally, I promise, finally gonna start doing the thing with the holes in the magnets. I'll be right back. I have the shoulder pads and the arms magically bonding with the power of, have I mentioned how much I really like this stuff? Like, look how thin that is. It's ridiculous. Anyways, glue setting, I'm going to start with the backpack. Backpack meets drill bit pin vise. Bah! Now they fight. I'm wondering which camera view is better here. This might be better. We have 2 holes. This matches up with the back nubby of the power pack. This hole, on the other hand, is very conspicuous. I wonder. So if we look at this from the side, getting a lot of glare from my computer. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not video, phone, studio editor guy, but this flat part above the knobby, I'm sure there's a technical term for it. It looks like we can just glue a magnet there. So I'm going to drill into that hole, which is already a hole, so I don't need to drill a pilot. I'm going to drill in approximately, I'm just going to go with 1.5 millimeters. And since we can all do that just by touch, because we've done this a million times each, right? Nope. This looks fairly flat. These pin vices are wonderful. You push down. I'm going to get the overhead view for this just for a second. Aha, magic. You press down that way, press down. There's a resistance on this end. While you're squeezing, oh, my hand is bleeding. You turn here. You'll hear it squeak as I'm slowly drilling a hole into my hand, and it kind of hurts. Blood gushing everywhere. Insert red. Bad props. I'm not a comedian. Here we go. Let me get back to drilling this hole. This is reasonably flat. Don't push too hard. These drill bits will chew through your plastic pretty quickly. When you're thinking that you are done pushing down, slowly pull up, but keep twisting. Get a cleaner exit wound. Fairly clean. Now, since I don't know exactly what 1.5 millimeters feels like, nope, needs a bit more. Squeak, 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 squeak. I'm pulling up as I remove the pin vise just to keep the hole nice and clear. Aha. Beautiful, right? Now, I love it when this happens. Okay, for starters, I got lucky. I mean, I'm the best. I win at life and magnetizing. I got lucky with exactly how deep that was. I could go a hair, maybe, further in. I'm not going to say it. But now I need to take this magnet out. Conveniently, I have bigger, more, stronger magnets. With any luck, this works. There's a few solutions. I can throw some of my super runny Tamiya glue and hope that it finds its way through the cracks. Or I can use a handy dandy proper tool to pull the magnet out, or I can find stronger magnets and give this a whack and have the magnets pop it out. I'm going to pause right there while I figure out the best way to do this, and then I'll tell you how it happened. Remember when I said I was awesome with gauging the depth? Boy, was I wrong. But it's a happy little mistake. I went in way too far. So, what we're going to do, there's a magnet in there. I'm going to put my string of magnets back in and just slide it on over. So I have 2 magnets in here right now, and this little bit is sticking up just a touch. So, using the power of ink, some sort of paint, some sort of coloring, I'm just going to put a dab of something colorful, and then very carefully line up the hole. And now we have a good approximation of where to drill. In the meantime, I'm going to wipe this bad boy off. Now, the magnets go in this way. I want the exact same polarity on the teleporting backpack, interceptor. And I'm going to drill a hole. I'll do this on the camera while I'm at it. Do exactly 1.5 millimeters. Don't push down too hard, it's not a race. Take your time. I'm spinning it in reverse to withdraw the fang. Pin vise. That looks like it's about the right size. I'm going to just touch this up a little bit. Now, if I was really smart, what I would do is find a way to pinch the drill bit and mark off exactly how far into the model it is, and then I could measure that. That would be the smart way to do things. That's not how I roll. Bit of glue. Have I mentioned how much I like this glue? I really like this glue. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Put it in there. Give it a slide out. Or I can give it a minute to set. Now, the neat thing about the magnets is you push down and slide. You're getting a lot less force fighting against you. And I'm going to glue this other one in place. I hope this isn't too super boring for everyone. I personally am not a fan of instructional videos or anything where someone's claiming to teach you how to do something and they just skip over the steps. Anyone that's taken any calculus or applied math at the college or university level, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will leave the following as an exercise to the reader, QED. It's trivial to show the following is always true. Yeah. I've been bitten by that snake one too many times. Now, which way do these go in? That way. Sorry if my hairy arm is in the way. Okay, so these bad boys are drying. Probably set and cured already. Again, push down and slide it across. Perfect. That's a little recessed, not a big deal. Magnets are strong. Push down, slide it across. That one's sticking up a bit, not a problem. We want this end. Yeah, focus. Here's the backpack, string of magnets. We want this end to go into the back, right where I have that little drop of paint. Now, there's two basic ways to approach this. I can pretend that I have the dexterity of, I don't know, some thing who's really dexterous, or I could do this the smart way. Score in with a utility knife an X, vertical slit, perpendicular or horizontal slit, right in the middle where X marks the spot, break out the smallest drill bit pin vise I have, drill a pilot hole, then go to the real one. That's what I'd do if I was smart. Guess what I'm not doing right now? That's right. I'm not being smart. Now let's see if this fits. I need to make this hole a touch bigger. The most important part in these steps is making sure that your line of attack is dead center on all three axes. If you miss, it's not the end of the world. You can fill in the mistakes with some sort of a putty fill. If you want to be really sloppy about it, you can use some rubber cement, like out of a tester's tube or something like that, just to fill in the gap. Re-drill your hole, kind of reset, go back to square one. That's a touch off center. It's not going to be the end of the world. Well, I hope it's not the end of the world anyways. It's a pretty silly reason to have the end of the world. Okay, so that hole goes in nicely. Check for the bazillionth time. Excuse me. We have these magnets lined up. We know what the polarity is. We're not going to screw this up. We are not going to screw this up. And I repeat, we are not going to screw this up. Have I mentioned that screwing this up is not an option? Yeah, I got some red dye on there. I'm so excited. It's going to be off camera for a second here while I fit this in a little better. There we go. So what I was doing, unfortunately, was off camera, but I will demonstrate over here. I have some sort of a hole where my fingertips go. I'm pushing the magnets in, push, 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 and I'm slowly sliding the magnets out and away while I'm still pushing down. Just because if I slide across the magnets right along the hole will have a tendency to stay stuck together through, I don't know, some sort of magical force. Sounds kind of chaosy to me. Anyways, if you're pushing down, it's easier to shear the magnets apart. We should let our glue dry before we mess around with things anymore. We should glue things into place before we mess around with them. And when in doubt, double check things. You should always dry fit your models in general, especially when you're playing with magnets. It's a lot harder to fix this once the magnets are glued into place, because sometimes you're just going to have to break them apart or go in with a heavier tool and actually break things. I'm going to pretend that's dried enough. Magic blowing on it. Oh my God. Oh my Emperor. Look at that backpack. It's on by magic. And this other backpack. Quick. Cost less points. Is it a perfect fit? No. If I took my time, it would have been. If I had one fewer magnet on there, it'd be an even more perfect fit, like that. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this screen in the background because it's way too bright. Aha. That's a flush fit, and it's magnetized. This is a flush fit. Magnetized. I'm going to hit stop, but next we're going to do the tricky parts, and I will show you how to score and drill pilot holes properly. And that's the next part of the instructional. Good Lord, this is taking a long time. Hope you guys don't mind that I'm rambling so much. I just don't want to skip over any steps. Now is where we get to the fun part. We have shoulder to torso. I'm going to do this mostly with the overhead. Now, depending on the angle, this isn't going to work very well, just because of the position of various gizmos and doodads. I probably should glue the hand into place. I really don't care at this point. I can do that later because it's going to be magnetized. This looks like it's going to be centered a little higher than the middle. Yeah, that looks about right. We can get all fancy and pretend we're dental hygienists, but we're not. We can pretend that we know what we're doing, and I'm going to do this lower down so I don't skewer myself. Safety first, boys and girls. Safety first. So I'm just going to drag this knife through. Nice little angle here. And then go perpendicular, and I want the X that marks the spot to be right where I want the hole to be. Beautiful. Tiny, tiny bin vise. I don't know if you can see that. Across there. The line where the green stuff filled in, where I just filed it down, might be obscuring the detail a little. Nope. Okay. Time to get new cameras. So we want to go in completely perpendicular on all axes. Now, there's a thin layer of plastic. You're going to get to where the ball and socket are on the clamshell of the torso. And here's where it gets really annoying, because you're going to have to still keep drilling in, and your drill bit is going to want to wander around a bit. So you're going to have to just be a little patient and have a little bit of manual dexterity here. Okay, so we have a decent pilot hole. I'm going to get rid of this side view. I think this light might be, yeah, we don't need that. Pilot hole, love it. Pilot hole meet bigger drill bit. Again, we want to be as perpendicular as possible without separating glue. Okay, so I'm going to have to be super duper careful with this. Loving it. Now, the magnets will fit in here. The reason it sounds like I'm disappointed is because I know this next part is really annoying. This is hollow. I need to get glue on the edge to hold the magnets in place. Really, I should be just jamming this thing full of rubber cement, but I'm not going to. I'll show you why. I think there's enough space in there to grab hold of it properly. So I'm going to glue this together properly and let it sit. That was for demonstration purposes. Right. I love the smell of glue in the morning. Can somebody check with YouTube's terms of service. Am I allowed to even joke about that? I'm not trying to make any sort of commentary on free speech or anything. Just I'm genuinely curious. Like, my floors are paper thin. My upstairs neighbor, he's an absolute sweetheart. He's surprisingly light on his feet. He's a big boy. I'm surprised he's not louder. I went upstairs to complain to the last tenants. And I had somebody in my place listening, and they thought I was stomping around. I was tiptoeing on their plush carpet. One of my two upstairs neighbors, this guy was maybe 150 pounds, so 60-something kilos for all of us Canucks. And it sounded like he stomped his way across the apartment every time he came out of the shower. And one night I had enough of the stomping around, and I decided to go up and have a friendly chat with them. And it was going to be a friendly chat. And at the end of our chat, I apologized profusely because I felt like I came across like a total jerk. Am I rambling too much about non-gaming stuff? I think I am. We had a good laugh about it. I was gently bouncing up and down on my tiptoes, and it sounded in here like I was jumping on the floor, on the ceiling. Upstairs floor, downstairs ceiling. Okay. I'm going to pretend this is going to hold. I need to check the polarity of these other magnets. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, left arm hole. Good guess. So I want the magnets to go in the exact same way. I'm still recording, good stuff. And I'm going to check again. Is it my OCD? CDO, for all of you who insist on alphabetizing. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I also don't like screwing things up. Yoink. That, my dear friends, is about as good as it gets. I can try to pull this out with the bigger magnet. So I pushed it in a little too far. What I can do to fix this is slap on some more glue and push it in farther with another magnet, which is what I'm going to do. The downside is I'm using another, I don't know, 1/250th of $18. Somebody can do the math. So like 1.4 cents. Is that right? Sure. Well, I'll pretend that's right. So I'm pushing it in just so it's flush, and then I shear it sideways. Aha! There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to give it just a little touch down. So when the glue sets, that's going to be that's about as good as you can make it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to let this set first. I can do the shoulder. I'll do the weapon. The weapon. Again, with the weapon, I can and should, and this time I will. Do a pilot hole. These things are tricky. And the reason they're tricky is because, I'm going to switch camera views here. For anyone playing the home game, our dear brothers in gray are holding the weapon forward. It's not perpendicular to the ground. It's holding it like this. So that's the angle that we have to drill in at. Oh, and this is one of those, whatchamacallit, two-handed weapons. I grabbed the wrong weapon. Well, that's a happy little mistake. No, that's a poopy little mistake. Oh my gosh, I sworred. I S-worded. I'm going to grab another weapon. I'll be right back. I'm back. With this glaive, Nemesis Force weapon, if you will, I did the next cheaty hobby trick. You can also take the edge of your hobby knife, put it right into place. Let's see if I can get it on this camera. And then give your knife a little twist. See if I can get the light to work a little better. I think you can sort of see the hole there. Yeah. And again, make sure that you're going in line with the way the arm would be, which is not perpendicular to the weapon. It's not at a right angle, nor is it orthogonal. Wow. Somebody took one too many math classes or failed grade 8 one too many times. Now, one thing that's likely going to happen to everyone at some point, the hole's not going to be centered. There's a few ways to fix this. The proper way, and then the way that I do it. The proper way is to fill it in. Proper way is just to get a new piece. Okay, this hole is really close to perfectly centered. Hope you can see that. It's close. Close. When I go to drill with the bigger drill bit, I'm very likely going to tear through the back of the hand that's holding the weapon, because the drill bit coming along here is too far, it's too close to the back of the hand. The way we fix this is we start drilling while pushing really hard in the direction that we want the hole to actually be centered. Difficult to do, much easier when you're drilling the pilot hole. The good news is, if you screw this up, you know what, I think I'm just going to do that to show you just how cool it is. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to drill this hole. Yeah, good. Perfect. Okay, so this chewed up. Ah, dang it. I didn't break it, and I wanted to. It was so close. Guys, I'm a failure. I tried to screw this up and I didn't. That's not humble brag. I actually wanted to screw this up. Here's the light. Excuse me. You can see the hole. What I was thinking was going to happen was this top part was going to get ripped. And then I was going to show you just how trivial it is when you have a silver magnet on a Grey Knight. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. Just in case you weren't paying attention. Grey Knight, silver magnet. It's like looking in a mirror. The point is, even if you screw it up, you're painting over it anyways. And then once you put a clear coat on, some sort of enamel or varnish, these things are solid. Just don't squish the magnets too hard, because they can shatter, they can chip, they can break. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to take a magnetized weapon just so I can align it properly. Is that the right way? No, it's the wrong way. That's the right way. So I want this to go into there the same way. Yoink. I want it to go into that way. Don't spin that around on me. I know there's some tricky guys out there that want to do it. Hey, when do you guys touch this? Yeah, it's the right way. Just going to do this a little off screen just because it's easier to handle. I'm back. I think we're done. This is hopefully mostly dried, the beautiful and sometimes underappreciated Nemesis Force weapon. Magnet, you can see the reflection of the little silver disc-like disc that's magnetic. You can see a bit of a metallic in there. We have the one interceptor backpack, non-interceptor backpack, left shoulder, just trying to catch a reflection of the light here, and the back. Now let's throw all of this together. Ooh, like magic. And click, and I did not do that shoulder pad. And the weapon. So there we go. Weapon arm, meet weapon. Spins nicely. And with just a little bit of work, let's see if this camera picks up better. We're getting into focus here. Yeah, there we go. 5 feet away, are you going to see a seam? Heck, 5 inches away, can you see a seam? I don't think so. It's about as good as it gets. Backpack. Let's switch camera views. Yeah, this camera view might be better. Oh, yeah. And for everyone that wants to shunt around the battlefield, again, can you see a gap in there? You might with a better camera and lighting. But no, it's good. It's good. The nice thing about the magnets is if you need more strength, make a bigger hole and put in more magnets. You don't always need to use a larger magnet. Sometimes just adding more magnets is the best way to go. So thus concludes the first in, I don't know, maybe a series, maybe not a series. See what you guys think. But thanks for having me on the Facebook group. The banter is always good. Please stop asking about the next codex. And if your list is competitive, because what does that even mean? If you have any other questions or any requests, feel free to, I guess, send them my way. If you have any really, really nice things to say about me, I'd love to hear it. If it's anything negative or bad, no. Unless it's really constructive, then for sure let me know. I know there's things to improve. This isn't my day job, but here we are. Hope this was helpful to some people. It was actually kind of fun for me, so I would be willing to do this again. And anyone in the Winnipeg area, if there's a store that you would like this demonstrated at in person and you would be willing to buy stuff from your friendly local game store, let your boss at the game store know. They probably know how to get in touch with me. And we'll see if we can make something happen. I do it free of charge. I wouldn't want anything for my time. Always happy to help the community. I used to run a lot of Magic tournaments in Winnipeg back in the day just to get people playing more Magic, slinging more cardboard. It was a good time for everyone. That's it for today. Talk to you guys soon.